And how did you get here? I don't know. I'm Butch Maxwell. Welcome to Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime for today, Wednesday, December 15th, the final show of the year.
Today is the 22nd.
Oh, it is the 22nd. I looked at I looked at last week's date when I came down here. You're right. It is the 22nd.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And thank you for that. And along with me is Lola Miller, who always keeps me on track, which I appreciate. So today this will be the final show of 2021. I remember this time last year, people were saying, "Oh, let's just get 2020 over. It's been a horrible year." I'm not sure we can say that much better about 2021. And I don't know if the turn of a year is really going to make a significant difference if you're not having a good time right now, but. I don't know. I'm ready to relax and enjoy Christmas. It's going to be kind of all holiday for me from here on out. I think it'll be fairly light duty for you here at the station too, right, Lola?
Yes, I'm after tomorrow. I am off for a week.
Oh, well, good. Congratulations. Yes. That's great. Yeah.
Excited. I don't know why. I'll probably end up cleaning house, but it's not like it doesn't need doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
I decided to take next week off.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Get that. And I know Bill's going to be away. He's not on for the rest of this week, right? I think. And
No, he's on tomorrow.
Oh, is he on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's on tomorrow, but then Friday off. Yeah. So that sounds good. Big plans for Christmas yourself?
No, not really. Kind of waiting to see if my niece is released from rehab. The hospital and rehab.
Oh, okay.
So if she is, then we'll go to Washington, PA for the day. But if she's not, then no, not really. Yeah. No. Because, the kids and Sean and the kids will go to the hospital to see her. So,
right. Yeah.
They won't be coming to our house.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just going to cook and eat and drink.
That sounds good. That sounds all right.
That's a good break.
It's different when you don't have little kids in your everyday life now.
I know.
I miss that.
I know. Kids make it special.
They do. And I've always thought that it's the anticipation of Christmas rather than the day itself. The day itself is sort of anticlimactic to me. It just sort of builds up as the intensity. I mean, here we are on the 22nd, and you've got, tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve, and then, oh, yeah, this is Christmas. Okay. All right.
Get up and,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Feel kind of like that character, I don't know, the character on Saturday Night Live, Pete Davidson does, and, guys just, okay, this is sort of, okay, that's all right, this sort of banal thing. Oh, boy. Today on the show, I do want to go over, since it is the last time I'll be speaking with you this year, over the air at least, I want to go over some of the celebrities who we lost in 2021 and sort of pay tribute to some of those. Coming up in the 2:30 segment of the show, my very good friend Sean Decker will be here, and he's going to play some music, and we're just going to talk because Sean's just one of my very favorite guests to ever have on the show. And so I asked him if he could come down, and so he is. So he's, aside from being a teacher and a dad and all that, he's a solo artist. He's also the leader of a band called Mr. Fancy Pants. He's a member of the Beatles cover band Mean Mr. Mustard, and he is a guitarist vocalist with the M80s. So,
do you got room on the resume for anything else?
Yeah, he didn't have time for much else, He found time to come in here today, so I appreciate that. So he'll be joining us after the news break at the half hour. And it's right now, if you haven't noticed, it's kind of cold out. It's going to be kind of cold today and tomorrow, but it is going to warm up on Christmas Eve and be a little bit wet on Christmas Day. So we're not going to have a white Christmas. We're going to have a wet Christmas, but at least the temperature is going to be mild. So there's that, I guess, and I don't know, that pleases me. My wife is bemoaning the no snow thing. She just likes the beauty of the snow and all that. But of course, she's not getting out driving much these days either. So
well, it's nice. Snow on Christmas Day. Be gone the day after.
The day after. Yeah. If we could just all order that up, that would be great. But, in reviewing who passed on over this past year, sometimes we hear about this and then it just um, um, it gets by us and we forget, oh yeah, I forgot we lost him or her. And so I think it's might be nice to just take a moment and step back. The first one on my mind is Ed Asner. He was a comic actor. He was also an activist too, and he was twice the Screen Actors Guild president. He died back in late August 29th, and he was 91 years old at that time. And Ed Asner was somebody, I think he was born an old man, he always seemed to be kind of this old guy. Most people became familiar with him when he was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show back in the 1970s. He was an old curmudgeon in that show, and then he reprised that role, at least the name of that role, in a spinoff show that was called Lou Grant, and I loved that show. That was on, I think, in the late 70s, early 80s, and Ed Asner won a number of Emmy awards. He was also the model for, and I think the voice of the grumpy old man in the Pixar movie Up, which is a great film too. So Ed Asner died this year. Also, someone who passed this year was Cecily Tyson, who was just an amazing actor. She won 3 Emmys and 1 Tony. She won a Peabody Award, a Presidential Medal of Freedom, and 4 Black Reel Awards. She started out as a model and then became an actor, and she saw some great success over the years. She was 96 as she passed away early this year, back in January. Another woman that I just thought was wonderful was Jessica Walter. Jessica Walter was a New York actor. She got her big screen break back in 1964 with a drama called Lilith. But she continued to, her star continued to rise throughout her career, and she went, I think my favorite role was the part of Lucille Bluth on the sitcom Arrested Development that started in 2003. She was amazing. She was just so funny, just remarkably funny. She died in March at the age of 80. Prince Philip died this year. Prince Philip was 99, so he lived a good, long life, I think, and very well. But of course, that was Queen Elizabeth's husband. Prince Philip died this year. Actor Ned Beatty died this year too. He was probably best known as a character actor, generally a secondary star. But he was a real scene stealer in some of the work that he did. I think most people would remember him probably best from Deliverance in 1972, but he was also in Network and Toy Story, All the President's Men. He was in Superman, the one in '78, and he was generally kind of a hero or a sidekick in a lot of films, but he was top notch. He died this year in June. He was 83. Charles Grodin, another actor who really distinguished himself as kind of generally not a big star, not an A-level star, but a well-known one. He was in Catch-22, Beethoven, and The Comedian were among his film successes, and then he was in a number of television programs too. And he was also a comic foil for late night TV in the 1970s and 80s when he went on with Johnny Carson and David Letterman. Hal Holbrook Hal Holbrook, another guy who, just seemed to be very old forever, but he was a really fine actor. Probably best known as Mark Twain from the play Mark Twain Tonight. He actually started playing that role way back in 1954, and he did it more than 2,000 times before retiring from the role in 2017. He died this past January at the age of 95. You might also remember him in movies like All the President's Men and Wall Street. Larry King, the guy who always seemed to be very, very old. Anyway, he was 87 when he died this year, and he was, of course, a veteran television and radio personality. Really well known in this industry, in AM talk radio. He had an overnight show on the Mutual Network way back in the 80s, I know. And his career spanned over 60 years. Of course, he was known very well for the last 35 years of his career at the helm of CNN's Larry King Live. Larry King passed away this year in January. Cloris Leachman, a very funny lady. She had won a number of Emmys. She's tied, in fact, with Julia Louis-Dreyfus as the winningest female entertainer in the history of Primetime Emmy Awards. She was nominated a total of 22 times. So she, of course, came to fame on The Mary Tyler Moore, just like Ed Asner did. And she was in a whole lot of things. She actually was in some films, too, before Asner ever was, including The Last Picture Show from 1971. Jackie Mason, who had no idea was still alive until he died, but he was one of those Borscht Belt comedians. A stand-up comic. His career spanned the stage, screen, and radio, and he died this past year at the age of 93. He did have a small part in Steve Martin's 1979 film, The Jerk, and he did a recurring voice role on The Simpsons. But he's best remembered for his legendary celebrity feud with Ed Sullivan, who banned him from his variety show after claiming that Mason gave him the middle finger during a 1960s visit. Mason contended that was not true, and they just had a really bad sort of falling out in the 1960s. Comedian Norm Macdonald passed away this year. He was only 61. He'd been battling cancer. He was best known for his sort of very dry delivery on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. He was apparently very well loved by a lot of his co-stars, too. So Norm Macdonald passed away, too. Gavin McLeod, he also came out of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, although probably now he's better known as what was his name? Captain Stubing on the Love Boat. And he did that after the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He also had recurring roles in earlier TV shows like McHale's Navy, Perry Mason, and Hogan's Heroes. So that's something I didn't know about him either. But Gavin McLeod passed away this year, back in May. Christopher Plummer, who was, of course, Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music way back in 1965. He died this past year in February. He won an Oscar, he won a Tony, and he won an Emmy. And he was in more than 100 films from diverse things, from Malcolm X to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo to very recently Knives Out. But of course, Von Trapp is mostly what we remember him for. So Christopher Plummer died this past year too. Tanya Roberts died. She was
Charlie's Angels.
She was in she was in Charlie's Angels. That's right. And she was in a James Bond film View to a Kill, and she was known as the hot mom on the TV show That 70s Show. I didn't really watch that. Another TV star who passed away this year that I did know but a little bit better was Peter Scolari. He first came to fame along with another guy who has never been heard of again, Tom Hanks. The two of them starred in a show called Bosom Buddies, in which they both had to impersonate women in order to live in this an apartment building. And then he had a really great role on the series Newhart. He was just hilarious on that show. And then he popped up again in Girls more recently. He was a very funny guy, Peter Scolari. He died at the age of 66 back in October. A lot of people have been mourning Stephen Sondheim, who was really a musical theater legend. He died just in November at the age of 91. He wrote the lyrics for West Side Story and the music for a whole lot of other popular shows, including Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber, Fleet Street Company, Follies, and Into the Woods. He has earned numerous accolades throughout his career, including 8 Tony Awards, 1 Oscar, a Grammy, and a Pulitzer Prize. And in 2015, President Obama presented him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Stephen Sondheim. Another guy from music with a little bit more speckled background is Phil Spector. Phil Spector passed away this past year.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, he was a guy who invented the wall of sound. He was a wildly successful record producer in the very late 50s and early 60s. And he had this production sound that it just involved layering recordings until it sort of had this very lush sound. Probably the most famous of his recordings was You've Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. But he had many, many, many other very successful singles, the Ronettes, etc. But of course, he was also convicted of murder. So that sort of tarnished his reputation, I think, a little bit. Not to mention the fact that the abomination he did on the Beatles' Let It Be album, but I won't get into that. Anyway, he had been sentenced in 2019 to 19 years to life, and he was 81 years old when he passed away this year. Dean Stockwell, he was an actor who was in a whole lot of things, including the original Dune and Blue Velvet and a couple of others, and he died this year. I've got a call.
Yes, it's Tom.
It's Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm sorry. Who died?
Who died?
Who was the last? I was talking to Lily. Who was the last guy?
Dean Stockwell was the last one I said. I said Phil Spector before. I don't know what prompted your call. But,
who's Dean Stockwell?
Oh, he was an actor. He was in The Valley of Decision. He was in a lot of different.
I'm gonna have to look and see his face.
He's in Blue Velvet. That's what I know him from mostly. But he was also
remember that.
He was
Quantum Leap, too.
Quantum Leap. Yeah, the
Leap.
TV show. Yeah,
Oh, he was
Quantum
a star in Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
Not the star.
Oh, he died?
Well,
he was in all kind of stuff, I guess.
He was
not the
second
star
guy.
of Quantum. Yeah, he
Oh,
was
the
like
black hair guy, the guy that sat over his shoulder and nobody
Yeah,
could see him.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did realize he died a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are you talking about? Phil Spector, in the Let It Be album. You didn't like how they did Let It Be?
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. He overproduced it. I maintain that he should have been arrested for murdering the Beatles album. I just thought it was awful.
I didn't realize it. I bought that album for $3 at the Big Wheel.
Oh,
from
really?
Eddie Moore. Remember Eddie Moore ran the record shop at Fisher's Big Wheel?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did.
I bought
forgot
so
about
many
that.
albums for $3.
Yeah, it was. The album. It's got great songs on it. I'm not disparaging the Beatles. I'm just disparaging the production of that album. It was just the choirs of angels on Long and Winding Road and Let It Be. It was just awful. I just thought he just way overused it. So
Man, you're really the critic.
I am. I can be tough, Tom. I'm sorry.
Well, my wife, she's recently my ex. I don't know why we got divorced. Anyhow, nobody ever goes. You send out all these invitations when you get married. Let's have a party when you get divorced and stuff. But anyhow,
yeah.
Enough about that. She got me years ago. I got this thing in the mail. This was like in the late '80s, and it was a book club. And I got every single Beatles album. It's in a box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're on EMI. They're on British pressings, and the EMI pressings sounded better than a CD.
Oh, they do.
But the Capitol pressings were horrible. I think their pressings were dirty because they made so many albums and nobody ever really cleaned them or anything. But if you compare a Capitol record, you play that version of Let It Be, for instance, and then the EMI version, it's a world of difference.
Yeah, it sure is.
Just an
yeah, and a lot of audiophiles agree with you on that, Tom. And
really?
I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if I was the only one. But
No, I read that a lot where people complain. They like the Parlophone EMI.
But
European
you had
pressing.
nothing to compare it to because nobody had British pressings in America.
No, that's what I grew up on.
But for $100, she got me the whole thing. I mean, the only thing it didn't have was Magical Mystery Tour, and I had that anyhow.
Oh yeah, because that was an EP in Europe and in England. It was
Really?
it was just an EP. It wasn't an album, and because they didn't put the singles on the albums. So that's the other problem with only having the British albums is you don't get the singles. So then you have to get them on something else, like a compilation or something like that.
Well, my understanding, I had the Beatles book one time that Ricky gave me, and it said that Capitol would shave a couple songs off of every album to save them up for whatever the heck, and put it on another album.
Yeah,
Capitol was just really, they're no good swindlers.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, in England, they had all the albums had 14 songs. In America, they had 11. So they did just lop off like 5 songs, and then soon they had enough for another album. So they did that. And in fact, that's why the Beatles. You might have heard of the Butcher cover where they've got all these babies and pieces of meat, these baby dolls and pieces of meat.
They put that on the inside of the rarities. When they sent me the box set, it had that.
Yeah. Well, they did that. They posed for that picture to sort of protest how the Beatles were, how Capitol Records was butchering their albums. And, even though that actual picture never ran on the cover of one of those butchered albums, it was intended for the cover of Yesterday and Today, which was not even it was just a Capitol comp taking songs from the Help album, from the Rubber Soul album, and a couple of singles, and making an album out of that.
Well, Tom Petty, he kind of went after the record industry. They wanted to jack the prices up to like $8 an album, and he insisted that it stay like $6.99 or something. And that album, I can't remember which one it was, but it had him walking around in a record store on the cover of the album.
No. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what that was. Did you ever hear of the Wrecking Crew?
Oh yeah, the Wrecking Crew. There's a great documentary on them.
Yeah, that Tommy Titolan or whatever.
Yeah.
But his son did that.
Oh.
I mean, I'd never heard of this before and everything, but it was amazing that like 14 people played on like 2/3 of every album you've ever heard.
Yeah, at least the album made in California and throughout the late '60s through the '80s, really, as a Wrecking Crew. It's amazing.
But Glenn Campbell was in the Wrecking Crew, if I believe, and stuff. But I didn't know he played for the Beach Boys. And stuff.
Yeah, the Beach Boys didn't really play on many of their albums. Hey, Tom, we're coming up on a break. I got to get.
All right. Hey, it's good talking to you.
It's good to hear from you too. Thank you so much for calling. I want to wish you a very happy Christmas and a Merry New Year too.
Yeah, you too.
All right, take care. All right, we are going to take a break. When we get back, with any luck, I'm going to have Sean Decker here. We're going to have a little music. You're listening to Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime right here on the Watchdog Network, and we'll be right back.
The Indiana game, they've played better defense against the three against Kentucky, Indiana, and Western Michigan, now holding opponents to just 36% after opponents were shooting close to 43%. But today, goodness, Corpus Christi's also made 7 of their last 7.
Penguins like the cold, but the Youngstown State Penguins come into Morgantown hot. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
Kroger knows this year the holidays are doubly important, so make your celebrations doubly special with fresh, never frozen, prime grade beef and Simple Truth organic Brussels sprouts. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Double specialness, void where prohibited. Certain restrictions. Wait, stop illegal. We've got even more special holiday food, like delicious king crab legs with private selection gourmet potatoes, or cave-aged Murray's cheese, and fresh baked La Brea bread. Kroger, fresh for everyone. All right, legal. You're up. Double specialness, void where prohibited. Certain restrictions may apply. Shop at participating stores for more details. 42 million Americans struggle with hunger, yet 35% of the food in this country is wasted. Those aren't just numbers. They're our neighbors, your daughter's friend from school, the family of 4 next door. The Kroger Company Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation is committed to making fresh food accessible to all by ensuring it never goes to waste. Together, we can help end hunger. Learn more at zerohungerzerowastefoundation.org.
It is game night for the Mountaineer basketball team. West Virginia entertaining the Penguins of Youngstown State this evening at the Coliseum. Our tip-off is set for 6 o'clock. This will be the 7th all-time meeting between the two teams. West Virginia has won the previous 6 games. The Mountaineers are 4-0 in games played in Morgantown. West Virginia is 2-0 in true road games. First ever matchup between these two teams took place at the old Mountaineer Fieldhouse back in 1942. The most recent game took place in Youngstown, December of 2019. West Virginia won that game 75-64. Of course, Youngstown State is coached by former WVU assistant and former Fairmont State head coach Jared Calhoun, and he'll bring in a Youngstown State team that is playing well. The Penguins are 7-3 overall, but they have won 5 straight games so far this year. A season-opening loss to Penn State, victories over Southeast Missouri State and St. Thomas of Minnesota, a loss to Southern Illinois Edwardsville, then a loss to Niagara. Since then, all W's at Milwaukee, at Green Bay. Those are 2 conference games, so they're 2-0 in their league. Defeats over Central Michigan, Canisius, and then this past weekend, Westminster of Pennsylvania. They've got balanced scoring, 5 players averaging in double figures, and they defend well, giving up just 66 points per game. Unique start time tonight. 6 o'clock is the tip instead of the normal 7. So our pregame begins at 5 p.m. this evening, and the ball goes in the air at 6 o'clock right here on MSN. We invite you to join us. That is today's Mountaineer Report. It's brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. The NHL officially begins a league-wide shutdown today, closing its facilities through the Christmas holiday amid the spike in COVID-19 positive test results. So far, 50 NHL games have been postponed. Yesterday, 2 games were in action in the college football bowl games. In the Frisco Bowl, it was San Diego State defeating UTSA 38-24, and Wyoming beat Kent State in the Potato Bowl 52-38. One bowl game is scheduled for today. That's the Missouri Tigers taking on Army in the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas. Army is 8-4, while Missouri enters the matchup 6-6. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog.
Shop 50 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com this week only. Plus, new deals on stocking stuffers. Save through December 20th at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com.
Do you think it's okay to drive stoned? The truth is your reaction time slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Stop kidding yourself. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Hi, this is Stacy Spry from Spry's Mail Center Plus. It's that time of year to get your packages to your loved ones for the holiday. We send UPS, FedEx, DHL, and the United States Post Office. We're also the official shipper for Ohio Valley favorites like Patsy's Pizza, Figueretti Spaghetti Sauce, Jebbia's Fruit Baskets, and Coleman's Fish. Just give us a call and we'll make all the arrangements. As always, we do copies, faxes, emails, scanning, mailbox rental, and much more. Once again, we're teaming up with WKKX for Letters to Santa, so have your kiddos stop by with their letters to read on air by Santa himself. For any shipping or office needs, call me, Stacy Spry, at 304-232-1885. And finally, thank you for giving my family the pleasure of serving you and your family for over 14 years. Happy holidays from all of us at Spry's Mail Center Plus.
Toyotathon is on, making now the best time to reserve one of the all-new additions to the 22 Toyota lineup, like the first ever Corolla Cross, with available all-wheel drive and more space and efficiency than ever, or the all-new redesigned Tundra with uncompromising full-size power. Visit your Toyota dealer today or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. But hurry, Toyotathon ends January 3rd. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for Statewide Talk Line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Might do just that. Steve Lutz.
Out the holly, put up the tree before my spirit
points.
Again, fill up the stocking. I may be rushing things, but deck the halls again now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. It hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry. So climb down the chimney, put up the brightest string of lights I've ever seen.
Much as I'm enjoying the holiday-spirited musical theater, you've stumbled back into Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime, and my guest this half hour is Sean Decker. And Sean, right before you joined us, I was talking about celebrities who had died this year, and worked my way up to through Dean Stockwell. Charlie Watts, of course.
Charlie Watts, yes,
died this year, and he was the seminal drummer with the Rolling Stones. And what did you think of him as a drummer?
He's great.
Yeah, I thought he was too. Just really, really dependable, straightforward. You know, but
I never understood not hitting the hi-hat on 2 and 4, but that was his, that's what he did.
That was that was his thing. It's kind of his trademark. Yeah.
I know. I mean, he seems simple, and then you hear Sympathy for the Devil. He's like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, I got it. It's like that's a difficult thing to play.
It is. Yeah.
No, he's great.
Yeah, he was great, and perfect for the Stones, I think.
And he had he had a work philosophy that I have. You just do as much as you have to.
Yeah, that's right. Do no more than you have to. And he didn't. He really didn't waste any energy. You look at him, and Bill DeFabio always said he looked like he was asleep out there. But he's just very at ease and stuff. Did you see him do in the COVID concert they did, that worldwide broadcast? The Stones were part of that, and he looked like they did what did they do? Another song from Let It Bleed. You can't always get what you want.
Oh yeah.
And but he was just pantomiming, playing drums, you know. But there were drums actually coming through. So, but he was it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Another death this year was Michael K. Williams, best known for
Tragic.
he played
Tragic.
Omar Little in The Wire.
Omar's coming.
Yep. He was only 54, and it was of a drug overdose. So it's a shame. Clarence Williams III. Do you know who that was?
Mod Squad.
Mod Squad. Yeah, very good for a young guy. You know this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He was Link in the.
Because he was also in Star. Well, I also follow a lot of Star Trek on Twitter because I watch a lot of Star Trek, and he played characters on Star Trek. A couple of them.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, a lot of under the makeup kind of parts.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But he was one of the really one of the first big black stars in primetime TV. And director Richard Donner died this year. Donner was known for the first Superman. I mean, the '80s or late '70s Superman. Also, The Omen and The Goonies and Lethal Weapon.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
I've been listening to podcasts about directors, and I've been listening to one about John. They've been talking about John Carpenter a lot.
Oh yeah.
Him and Donner and Zemeckis.
Yeah.
I've listened to they talk about them as directors and all their filmographies. I'm like, these three are like my childhood.
Yeah,
like,
they really are.
Like every
Zemeckis
movie
is great.
I ever
Yeah.
Zemeckis and Donner, and that was it.
Yeah. It's kind of we did lose a lot of people. So just to catch you up, there was one that I mentioned earlier that I was surprised when he died this year because I didn't know he was still living. Was Jackie Mason.
He just died this year, huh?
Yeah, he just died this year.
Ooh. Who knew?
Yeah, he was 93. Yeah, just I thought all those old like he was like vaudeville like era, wasn't he? He was,
hey, everybody, I'm dead now.
Yeah, so
he's old Krusty the Clown's dad on The Simpsons.
That's right. Yeah, that's one among the things he had done lately. So yeah, and then
And of course, Caddyshack 2, one of the finest sequels.
Oh boy! Oh, just terrible. Why did they do that? I know. I did see the most recent iteration of Ghostbusters, by the way.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
It was okay. It wasn't embarrassingly bad. It was okay. You know, it was. You know, I didn't feel totally gypped going to see it. The effects were pretty good, and they managed to reanimate a dead guy pretty well in that. You know, so
Still have not. Did you watch it at home or?
I went to the theater.
I have not been. Still have not been to the theater.
You
yet.
haven't been to the theater.
Still-
Right now, I'll tell you what.
Now I'm not going to go again.
Yeah, well, no, it's probably a good idea with Omicron out there, but it's.
I mean, this is my time to shine.
Yes,
because
right.
I like staying home.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it's been a good thing. This has been the best thing ever for introverts. You know, what?
Unless I'm playing a gig and then it's all about me.
Right.
And then
Yeah, and then
everyone
where is everybody?
Everyone should come out.
Right. Absolutely.
You know.
Speaking of which, you're playing somewhere in about a month, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we're doing the plugs, eh?
Yeah,
I
sure,
mean,
do
the
the
plugs
plugs,
are
get the
small.
plug in.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's just happy hours and solo gigs.
Okay.
You know, we're gonna. I don't know. I mean, aren't we all gonna go back to locking down? You know, these could all be for naught. I
Yeah,
don't know,
we
but
don't
I mean, hopefully. I was telling you I'm recording, so
Yeah,
hopefully Fancy Pants has some new music soon, and
be great, yeah.
I don't know. All the other bands.
Yep, we'll have to see. Yeah,
We'll have to see.
Yeah, you know,
I mean, we only get out
the M80s and Me, Mr. Mustard seem to be more summertime sort of.
Yeah,
affairs
no, I mean, we
anyway,
only get
so,
out 4 or 5 times a year
Right.
anyway. It's
Yeah.
not like-
Yeah. That's true.
I hear these other guys. They, all the local musicians talking about how many gigs they have. I'm like, whew, that sounds awful.
You know, don't you get to stay home at all? You know. Oh yeah, but also it's nice just to go out and see other bands too and stuff. And if you're playing all the time, then you can't really do it. So
that is true.
There's that.
Yeah. Any other beautiful dead people?
Amazing deaths. Well, we talked about a few. Ed Asner was one, and Jessica Walter.
Yeah. Oh wait, I saw one. I swear to. I also thought Larry King died like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, he died. Yeah, he died this past year. Right?
Several people I just thought died.
Yeah.
years
Yeah,
ago.
you mean,
like,
what? You mean he was still alive? I
yes.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cloris Leachman, was, but I don't know why I thought she'd passed too, but she's Hal Holbrook died just this past year
Okay,
too,
yeah.
And well, he was a guy who was like old from forever.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So, and we know that. We know, I'm not going to name names, but we even know some like actors on a local scale who seem to have been born middle-aged. But the beauty of it is
They grew up at a time when smoking was allowed everywhere.
Well,
Butch. That's why
that's
they look like what they look like. That's why that's what they
but
got
stayed
Brimley.
there. They might have looked, the Wilford Brimley thing, where you're 23 and you look 45, but when you're 65, you probably still look 45. So maybe that's good.
We've seen enough Beatles, man. Where like I can't believe what were they? Maybe 30 when they broke up.
Yeah.
They
Just barely there,
looked.
They're so much older. Yeah, they really aged in those few years. So did you see the Get Back?
I saw it.
Every minute of it. Yeah.
I made time for that one.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I loved it too. I did too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was kind of, and I knew exactly how everyone was going to react to it, if they weren't musicians or if they were.
Yeah.
If they were in a band or if they weren't. If they weren't in a band, they were maybe going to have a hard time with it because it is. And I knew exactly what would. I don't know.
You know what what it feels like. You have an idea
Yeah.
of the group dynamic and
This
and
is how
that-
this is how it works.
Yeah, it is. It rang so true to me. I've not seen any kind of a film that sort of captures sort of how bands work, and then that particular band, of course. And it wasn't as joyless as ever. But boy, I'll tell you, it was really compelling for Beatles nerds like us.
Yes,
So,
it was. I mean, it was. Yeah.
It's
I can't
not.
I mean, I watched it the minute I could.
Yeah.
I think day one, I happened to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And didn't have anything to do. 'Cause
Yeah. It was Thanksgiving Day.
So no one was going to be awake
Yeah.
for another couple hours. So I
Yeah.
just sat and watched it.
Perfect.
So like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because it dropped at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it was Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
So I just made time.
Yeah, make time the next day and the next day. Yeah.
I mean, I watch everything on my phone. So
okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's kind of private then.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's kind of I'm not like taking.
Well, I was home alone.
Yeah.
Vera was away visiting her kids in Austin, and I had to be here. So I was alone, and I had the best time by myself watching the Beatles. It was great. I watched it twice. I watched it twice. Each day, I watched it twice, not in rapid succession. I gave it a couple of hours, but I came back to it again. It was just amazing. But then, I'm a self-admitted Beatles nerd. So.
Yes. Yeah. So, no, that was, when it was ending, when they were showing those clips and they're still showing just the snippets they had left, or they're just trying to really get everything out there, I was like, well, keep going.
Yeah,
man. Keep
I want to
going.
see it all. Yeah, right.
This is only, this leg of it was only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Give me another hour and a half.
That's right. Yeah. But
I literally had to tell myself, oh, wait, there's no more.
Yeah,
That's all they had.
That's it.
They stopped.
They stopped after
Like,
that day. Yeah.
50 years ago, they stopped and they said, that's it. I was
Yeah. But it kind of makes me hungry for like, gee, I wish they'd done the same thing for Rubber Soul
For
or
everything,
something. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Hey, well, can we talk you into playing some music?
Yeah, I'll play a song.
Okay.
Hold
All
on.
right. Yeah. All right. And while he's doing that, I'll just set you up for what's going on here. Bill DeFabio will be on tomorrow, as will Howard Monroe from 7 till 10 tomorrow, followed by Hoppy Kirchhoff, and then the Bill DeFabio variety program starting at noon and going to 3 p.m. And I don't know, on Christmas Eve, I'm not sure whether Howard's doing a show or not, but I know Bill's not, so no Howard either, right?
No.
No
we're
Howard
off,
either.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Okay, yeah.
And,
The reruns.
Yeah, and reruns. Well, we'll be what we call in network here. So
But then tomorrow, too, at 3 o'clock, from 3 to 5, we have Donnie Gilbert.
Oh,
is
Donnie
going
Gilbert,
to do
Donnie Gilbert.
a Christmas show on KKX.
on KKX. All right, so Donnie
And-
Gilbert, usually on just VOI, he's ever on KKX.
And tonight at 5 and tomorrow at 5, we
Santa
talk to
Claus.
Santa up at the North Pole, and he reads letters that he has received from kiddings
All right,
around here.
good. So all the kids must tune in at 5 o'clock today. now. I think Sean's about ready to play something here.
Am I? That's really the question, isn't it?
You've got the guitar in your hand.
I do
at
have
least,
the guitar in
anyway.
my hand. All right. I got a Christmas tune.
All right.
One that Fancy Pants has played numerous times. I have to figure out how to sing it without screaming because it is by the band Slade.
Oh, all right.
Yes. So. Are you hanging up your stockings on the wall? It's a time that every Santa has a ball. Does he ride a red-nosed reindeer and run up on his sleigh? Do the fairies keep him sober for the day? So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun. Are you waiting for the family to arrive? Are you sure you got the room to spare inside? Does your granny always tell you that the old songs are the best? Then she's up and rock and rolling with the rest. So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun. What will your daddy do when he sees your mama kissing Santa Claus? Hanging up your stockings on the wall. Are you hoping that the snow will start to fall? Do you ride down the hillside in a buggy you have made? When you land upon your head and you've been stayed. So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun. So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun.
Hey, all right. Sean Decker playing a Christmas song by originally
Merry Christmas, everybody, by Slade.
by Slade. Okay,
You know?
yeah. I'd not heard that one before.
Yeah.
I like it better than Wonderful Christmas Time.
Time will tell on Wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it isn't really as bad as some people say. But,
So, yeah.
yeah, that's good. Thank
That's
you for
fun.
that. Thank you for that. It sort of
Yeah.
helps the Christmas spirit here a little bit.
I mean, Christmas is happening. We didn't have the Christmas show again.
Right,
We
yeah.
moved it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, we are gonna have. We normally have the Bridge and Tunnel Christmas show.
Right.
What is it? A couple of years ago, at Towngate.
Yeah, yeah,
Got canceled.
Yeah.
Last year, of course.
yeah.
And then Tim asked us to move to do something rather than do something Christmas, do it in April.
So you're doing it in April. Well,
We're doing something in April. We're gonna do a tribute show to Michael Iafrate, a friend
Oh,
that I
nice.
lost and a member of the Bridge and Tunnel. So we're going to try to gather together.
Another loss we had this year. That we should,
Yeah.
an incredible singer, songwriter, musician, artist,
Yeah.
philosopher,
Theologian.
Christian theologian. Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's great. What's the date of that show? You know,
April. It's around. It's the weekend of Earth Day.
Earth Day. That'd be the 20th or something like that. 20th. Okay.
Somewhere in there. So look for keep an eye out for that because we'll be add time for that as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's really good. We got about 4 minutes left. If you want, well, maybe 3 minutes. But maybe 2 minutes. You got something short?
Yep.
All right, you're listening to Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Air Time here on the Watchdog Network. This is Sean Decker playing some music, and I want to wish you all a very happy Christmas and a very Merry New Year. We'll see you after the first.
Christmas is a time to say I love you. Nope. Darn it. Do I know how to play it? Do I know how to say this song?
You started it well.
Christmas is a time to say I love you. Share the joys of laughter and good cheer. Christmas is a time to say I love you. And the feeling that'll last throughout the year. On the corner, all the carolers are singing. There's a touch of magic in the air. From grown up to minor, nothing could be finer. Times are hard, but no one seems to care. Christmas Eve and all the world is watching. I'm really excited. Santa guides his reindeers through the dark. From rooftop to chimney, from Harlem to Bimini, they will find a way into your heart. Christmas is a time to say I love you. Share the joys of laughter and good cheer. Oh, Christmas is a time to say I love you. And the feeling that'll last throughout the year. Just outside the snow there it is falling. But here beside the fire share the glow of moonlight and brandy and sweet talk and candy. Sentiments that everyone should know. Memories of the years that lay behind us. Wishes for the year that's yet to come. And it stands to reason that all good friends in season make you feel that life has just begun. Christmas is a time to say I love you. Share the joys of laughter and good cheer. Oh, Christmas is a time to say I love you.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.